To the channel. I know it's been a while, but this would be what if Naruto had God of Destruction Key. Without further ado, let's get right into today's video. As Naruto is making his way back to the Leaf Village, he kind of starts realizing like, yeah, he's moving fast, and he stops and he's taking a second to admire the amount of strength that he has. Because keep in mind, he's in that weird diamond, that diamond and circle shit on his chest, right? So Naruto, he's going through the motions. He's feeling it. Oh, this is some real strong stuff. He himself has never transformed because no one has, aggravated him to that point except for pain. So before, like, as he's going back to the Leaf Village, he's admiring himself and he's getting like this high off of this power. Like the more he takes notice of it, the happier he gets, the less he want to come out of this form, right? But the more he gets closer to the Leaf Village, it's strange because he's getting tired, real tired actually. Right? So when he gets to the Leaf Village, everybody's cheering his name. And, Tsunade walk up to him and like she's just not like looking at Naruto because the power that Naruto has displayed on multiple different occasions that if you touch him at any given point in time and he's still in a fighting mood, he can possibly just kill you by accident. So she's like just looking around. I'm like, you don't look like you have any injuries. You look good, and like after that, she kind of like back away. And as she's like backing away, Naruto like just depowers and falls. And everybody's like, whoa, the fuck did that? Like what why did he just fall out? This has not happened before. And Kakashi, along with everybody else that knows Naruto, like specifically, they're shocked. They're just as shocked as like every other person. Because this has never happened. Naruto has literally fully displayed his power at some point in time and has not gotten tired. Right? So Naruto wakes up in his mindscape. And when he wakes up, he sees the Nine Tails. But instead, the Nine Tails has instead of these big, bright red eyes, a slight tinge of purple. And Naruto, he's like, I haven't talked to you in a while. And the Nine Tails is like, thanks to you, nobody's really bothering me. Hell, I didn't even have to come out to help you fight pain. Right? And Naruto, like, he laughs and he's like, man, pain wasn't even that big of a threat. And the Nine Tails like looks at him like, bro, pain literally wiped out the whole Leaf Village and damn near could have killed everybody in it. Stop acting like he wasn't a threat, right? And Naruto, he started laughing like, yeah, he was. I give him that. He was a threat. But in that same breath, he's not anymore, right? And then him and the Nine Tails just started like laughing. And Naruto was like, man, why do I still have this cage around you? And like the Nine Tails tell him like, cause you probably don't even know how to undo the seal. And at this point in time, Naruto, he's like, yeah, I guess I could start working on that. And Nine Tails is shocked, like, hold on, so you telling me you're not, hey, I killed your parents, right? Like, he couldn't find the word, so he was just like, I killed your parents. And Naruto, like, he stops dead in his tracks, and he's like, I was gonna ask you about that. What happened? And the Nine Tails basically tells him what happens. Naruto was getting born, he was trying to get out, and then all of a sudden, he was out, but he was being controlled. And as the Nine Tails is telling him this, Naruto is like trying to visualize, like, who can control a tailed beast? Then automatically, Sasuke pop up into his head. But he know that Sasuke is too young, so it had to be another Uchiha or somebody with enough power to just randomly put a tailed beast underneath the Genjutsu, which would have most likely been an Uchiha. So Naruto, like, he gets this new profound hatred for the Uchiha clan because technically speaking, if it wasn't for them, his mom and dad would still be alive, right? And the Nine Tails, like, he looking at Naruto and he's like, so you telling me you're not trying to blame me for your parents' death? And Naruto, like, he looks back at him, he's like, oh no, yeah, you killed them, but you were being mind controlled. So technically speaking, it wasn't really you, right? And the Nine Tails, he like, not a sigh or like, he don't breathe a sigh of relief, but now he's a little interested in Naruto, even more than before, because like, yeah, he recognized Naruto's strength and the power that he held and the mentality that he had. But now knowing that Naruto is this type of person that'll just be like, well, technically speaking, he's willing to find the logic in the stuff, because everybody else, was deeming the Nine Tails a monster, which given he was, he killed a whole bunch of people, all that other stuff. But in that exact same breath, he was underneath mind control. because the nine tails, he like as he tries to explain himself, and Naruto like he holds out his hand like there's no need, because if you weren't underneath my control, you probably would have just killed everything. Like in the general vicinity, like my mom and my dad wouldn't have died the way that they would have had you been in control of your own body. You probably would have just hit them with a tail beast ball, right? Not swiped your claw at them. And at this point in time, the Nine Tails was like, oh no. See, at that point in time, I was in control. I just wasn't trying to go into you. And then like Naruto looks back at the Nine Tails, and Nine Tails try to play it off, but he's like, I didn't expect for you to be this big of a powerhouse. We got so much in common, bro. You can wipe out a city, I can wipe out a city, right? And Naruto, it kind of just blows it off, like, they're dead. It's in the past. Although I never really got to see him. And Naruto, right before he wakes up, he tells the Nine Tails that he's gonna start trying to work on the seal to get him up out of him. Or, and at this point in time, the Nine Tails, like, he's still kind of shook. Like, I just told you, like, you just said it yourself. I killed your parents, all this other stuff. You have no real reason to trust me. Why are you still trying to open the seal? And Naruto looked over at the Nine Tails and was like, you're like the only other person in the entire out of everybody that I know, you're the only other person that is strong. Besides me, like my levels are strong. I mean, yeah, Tsunade is nice. Lee's strong and fast. Sakura's decent. But the Nine-Tailed Fox, right? And as he's saying this, Naruto disappears and wakes up. And, my bad. When he wakes up saying Fox, right? So at this point in time, everybody kind of know where he just came from. He just finished having a conversation with the Nine Tails. So, now they're just a little bit on guard, talking about what did the Nine Tails say, right? Naruto basically goes on to tell him, technically, like, the Nine Tails is being controlled that night when he killed his parents and all this other stuff, and how he wants to free the Nine Tails from the seal. And, like, everybody in the room, baffled by what he said, what do you want to do? Huh? What? Right? They're just confused. Like, they're now thinking that Naruto is being mind controlled by the Nine Tails, and this is Naruto. So Tsunade like tries to find some reason in it. She's like, Naruto. So you're telling me that because he technically didn't kill your parents, you're going to let him just leave your body? You know that'll kill you, right? And Naruto looks and he's like, no, I'm not gonna let him just leave my body. I'm gonna just undo the seal. There's no reason to have a seal on something that's been dormant half my fucking life. Right? And then, like, one of the elders chimes in and was like, he could be just manipulating you, boy. And at this point in time, Naruto's really not trying to have none of it, because nobody is really strong besides Tsunade. Like, in this general room, like, there's no Might Guy. There's none of them in there. There's just Tsunade, him, a few Anbu members, and a whole bunch of fucking elders. So, as he's having this conversation, he's starting to get mad because the elders are trying to call him a fool for, like, just trying to release the Nine Tails from the seal itself. And Naruto, he's like, I don't have to listen to y'all. In fact, I'm gonna do what I want. And if y'all got a problem with it, I'll come and stop me. And he leaves the room. And everybody just start looking at Tsunade, and Tsunade runs out the room and she grabs Naruto and she's like, yo, you can't, just release the Nine Tails. And then Naruto, like, get your hands off of me, right? And she move her hands, and she's like, Naruto, you can't just, take the Nine Tails, like, you can't undo the seal. There's a whole bunch of stuff behind it. The Nine Tails could just be manipulating you. And Naruto, like, as she's talking, ranting on, telling him exactly what the people in the building told him, he's like, so you rather me just leave the Nine Tails in me, so when eventually I do die, or something happens to my conscience, and the Nine Tails can take over, he can just destroy everything with my power and his own. And because I didn't let him out the seal, and I just told him I was. So why would I go back on my word? If I just told another being that could be just as strong as me, that I can let him have a little bit more freedom, and then you go and tell me I can't, how do you think that's gonna make them feel? Right? And Tsunade, she's not really caring about the Nine Tails. She's more worried about the fact that Naruto's, well, she is, but not his feelings. She's worried about, him trying to spaz out on everybody. So she chimes in, she's like, no, Naruto, you still can't go and undo the seal. And Naruto was like, this is a different Nine Tails, right? And like, when he says that, Tsunade stops. She's like, what? It's not There's only one Nine Tails, Naruto. What are you talking about? And Naruto laughed, like, he's like, oh, see, in order for me to show you what I'm talking about, I gotta undo the seal. Because y'all can barely, like, y'all can sense them. Barely. And at this point in time, Tsunade, like, they notice the Nine Tails chakra in Naruto is fading. It's fading, but not fast. Like, it's fading over time. So, like, every other 2 weeks, let's say Naruto's fucking, like, okay, the Nine Tails, peak power, or whatever, every other 2 weeks, it's slowly dropping, but being replaced by something else that they can't sense, because once again, they're not gods. They don't have that general understanding yet. And nor does Naruto's feel like teaching them, because Naruto doesn't even understand what type of power he has. Well, he does, but he doesn't in that same breath. And nobody else really knows that you can train to get, you can train with Naruto to get God Ki, but in that exact same breath, who the fuck is gonna want to train with Naruto? They can experience the energy and potentially unlock it, but they have to have a decent amount of potential. Give me a second. So as Naruto leaves the building, he goes and he begins to walk. And at this point in time, Naruto knows that he's been down for a few days, because he notices that there are actually buildings standing up. And when he originally got back before he collapsed, there was nothing. There's buildings, there's hospitals, given there's still a decent amount of tents. But hey, he even got Ichiraku ramen back up. So Naruto goes and gets him a bowl of ramen, and somebody notices that he's sitting over there. So he walks over there and he sits down next to Naruto. He punches him on the shoulder, and Naruto looks over and it's Lee. So he's like, what's going on, Lee? And Lee's like, train, right? And Naruto, he's shocked, because ain't nobody really asked him himself to train. Like, ain't nobody, hey, Naruto, you want to go and train somewhere? Except for the higher ups, like fucking Tsunade and the actual training Shinobi. So Lee gets excited, like, not Lee, Naruto, he get a little bit excited. He's like, yeah, we can actually do that right after I finish this bowl, right? And Naruto, basically, he put the bowl up to his mouth and just starts scarfing it down, right? And him and Lee, like, he grabbed Lee's arm and he dip off after leaving a little bit of change or whatever. But Ichiraku said, it was on the house because he saved the village. But nah, Naruto wasn't trying to hit none of that. He threw the money down, got gone, took Lee, landed, like, not really far away from the Lee village, but far enough to the point where nobody would really immediately notice Naruto's fucking power just randomly spazzing off in the distance. So he tells Lee, come at him whenever he's ready. So they start their training session, and Naruto and Lee are physically fighting. That's it. Naruto's not throwing no little ki bats, nothing, because Lee can't do that. And Lee barely has chakra as it is. I think y'all know where I'm going with this. So they start, like, they're fighting, and Lee takes off his weights, and then he activates the little gate thing. And Naruto, he powers up, just enough to the point where you can just barely see the tinge of aura coming off of him. And he kind of reassures Lee that you can punch him, he won't disintegrate. Like, you can punch me, I won't disintegrate you. Right? And Lee, he's like a drop of sweat comes down his face, and it's like, why is that like your immediate response? Like, why was that something you had to tell me? That's not concerning. And you're like, we're so far away from the Lee village, so something did happen to me. I'm fucked, right? So, that's the thought process that Lee has. But as he's having this thought process, Naruto, like, sneaks up behind him, but like appears behind him, and like kicks him off to the side, and Lee get back up, and he got his little gate form on, and he charged back at Naruto. And as he's charging, he could feel like something building up just there, right? And at this point in time, nobody really notices that Lee's gone. Everybody's seeing Naruto fly off, but they didn't see Lee being dragged by Naruto, because Naruto flies pretty fast. So they were fighting. Basically, Lee and Naruto been going for like a whole 3 days. Like, after Naruto had that conversation with the elders didn't really bother. Well, the elders in Tsunade, they didn't really bother to go and be like, okay, let's find him after he just randomly disappeared. Because if he does, they were thinking, like, if he does unlock the Nine Tails and they just randomly pop up around his location, he could be pissed. He could be violently upset. So we're not going to antagonize him, right? That's their thought process. I'm not trying to like, he already don't really like us. We're not gonna get more on his bad side, right? So, like, Naruto come back after them 3 days, but everybody noticed there's something a little different about Lee, right? And Lee can't put his finger on it neither, but there is. And Naruto, every time you look at Lee, you just get this big ass smile, ear to ear, boom, right? And Lee, like, he's all enthusiastic, but when you see Naruto smiling like that, looking at him, he gets concerned. So, like, God walks up to Lee and is like, well, y'all been gone Lee, I went to your house. Where'd you go? Right? And Lee basically tells him that he was off training with Naruto, and Guy was like, dang, you just gonna replace me like that? You know, I've seen that the youth found more youth to train him, right? And Naruto, he kind of just walk off. And he tell Lee if he want to train again, you know, just let him know. He's always down to train with a fellow guy, right? And as he says this, Naruto, like, as he says this, Lee and Guy look at each other like, what? What? Right? And then, Lee was like, you know, I've been training with Naruto. Let's see if I can train with you, right? So they, you know, basically Lee was like, I just finished spending 3 days with Naruto. Now I'm gonna go and fight you and see like what happened, because Naruto be looking at me funny now. Only been like 3 days, right? So Lee and Guy go and fight. Now when Lee and Guy go and fight, Lee, like, Guy tells him, let's just go all out. You've been fighting with Naruto. Clearly you've gotten stronger. So Guy activates the third gate, and so does Lee. But when Lee activates his gate, got like these little snaps, like how when like how when Goku and Vegeta activated Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution respectively, they those little like snaps and shit that pop up in their aura, that's what's happening to Lee shit. And at this point, like, Lee notices it too, but he only used his gate like one time against Naruto. So he is kind of baffled, you know, but he doesn't really take it into account. And Guy, he's like disturbed because he ain't never seen nothing like that. That's just the third gate, and he promised that Lee is strong. Like that's not third gate. What are you doing? Right? He's worried because he don't know what the fuck him and Naruto was doing for 3 days. And you know, Guy tell him, like, let's fight. And Lee like, all right. So boom, they start fighting, and Lee is like a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, all the other stuff. But Guy also notices that with the small amount of chakra that Lee had, not only did that amount decrease, but he can barely sense Lee now. I'm gonna explain what happened. So basically, Lee unlocked God Ki, clearly. That's what that is. But I'm making it to where when you unlock God Ki in this version of Naruto, instead of you just having, you know, God Ki and chakra, you only get one. It's a trade-off. One of them is drastically stronger, but you can no longer use jutsus. So the only reason why Lee is able to use the gates is because the gates is a technique, and Lee never really had a lot of chakra to begin with. So when he unlocked God Ki, his God Ki kind of just filled up the parts of his, like, kind of just filled up the rest of him, and now it's slowly taken away. Like, the more and more he trained with his God Ki, the less and less chakra he gonna have, and the less and less he'll be able to go into the gates. But that's gonna tie into something different later. But yeah, anyway, this is why I'm in this part off. If y'all enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. Anyway, this has been Shinobi. Peace.